Well, we've got a problem. Got a bridge that's lifting a little bit. This one was kind of an experiment on my part. I had some people warn me against bridges like this, the style that don't have the pins. There's this opinion out there that they do exactly what you're seeing here. I honestly can't say sample size 1 if that was the actual problem, but we're going to fix it. Hello, Leonard. Are you going to help? I doubt it. No? Okay. Well, so what we're going to try to do first is I'm going to try to bring this down with a clamp just to see if it'll move. When I built it, underneath this insert here, this inlay, I actually have a dowel that goes down into the plate on the back side of the top here. And I thought that would give it some stability, give it some strength. I suspect it's just gradually pulling out. I almost kind of doubt that it's going to move, but we're going to try to see if we can get it to move first. And if that doesn't work, we've got some other tricks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make myself a little spacer here, and I'm going to stick it basically underneath the bridge plate here, kind of offset. I actually have one of my X's that run along here, so I'm going to butt up against that. It's going to be right about here. I've tried taping them to clamps and then try to do that before, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't line up with where you want it. So you're better off just trying to stick it to the bottom of it and go from there. So we're gonna do that. See if we can get her to go. Duct tape. Duct tape Lutherie. All right. So that's on there. So I got another couple pieces, a little just scrap here. They're gonna be kind of sacrificial. I'm gonna just lay them on here. This way I don't wreck my bridge, hopefully. All right, we'll line this up here. Bring around down. Oh boy. If I could have found a bigger clamp, that might have been better. I'm just kidding. Put a little tension on it, see if it's moved. Okay, yeah, that actually does bring it down. I'm kind of surprised with that, to be honest with you. So what that indicates to me is I'll be able to loosen it up. Maybe get some glue under there, clamp it down, and see if she'll stay. All right, so I've collected a few things. Got my glue. I've got my tape. Working my way around here. Make sure she's stuck down really good, or at least as good as this green tape sticks. All right, so you can kind of get the picture of what I've done there. Now we're gonna try to pry it up a little bit more so we can just jam the glue in there, and then we'll clamp it down, and with any luck we'll be good. Cross our fingers. So I got this little pry bar here. I'm gonna get her. Oh yeah, that's loose. But over here it's stuck really good. Yeah, once you get about about right here on it. It's stuck. So there we go. I think that's about all I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to call it, it's probably about 1 millimeter or so. This pry bar is 1 millimeter thick. So it's, that's about where I'm at. It's 1 millimeter. Okay. When you're making a glue line, to get that color match, you want to mix in some of the material of the wood that you're actually gluing. If you have two different colors, you always use the darker colored wood. So for example, if you're gluing maple to walnut, always mix in the walnut with the glue. Gives you a little better line that way. So, excuse me, buddy. So we're going to mix up a little glue. When mixing glue together, typically I'll start out with equal parts glue and sawdust. 50-50 mix using a toothpick. I'll just start mixing them together. Pretty self-explanatory. Another tip is use just a cheap strainer to filter your sawdust through. That'll help you take some of the bigger chunks out of it, give you a really nice and tight glue joint. One thing I didn't mention before about the glue is, in addition to actually giving you a little bit of a color match, I believe the fibers that you're mixing in with the glue actually kind of will help you wick some of the stain into it, so you get a little bit more of a color match that way also. Kind of a capillary action, if you will. And my other cat has found my microphone cord. So, we'll see how this plays out. Just kind of keep oozing that in there, jamming it in with a toothpick, and then your flat, little piece of flat stock. Whoa. There's 1,000,001 kinds of glue out there, but to be honest with you, Titebond seems to be the one that works best for me. You'll get into purists want to use hide glue and things like that, and they're welcome to it. I played with it. Quite frankly, I don't see it. It works. It's worked historically, but it's a lot of work to make it work, and I'm not sure the benefits outweigh the the work involved. Can you lay down for me? Absolutely not. Nope. You're just a kitten. And here comes the other one. So, our work's probably about ready to wrap up here until we come back. Right, guys? Yeah? Yeah, what's in there? There's nothing in there, dude. Yeah. Well, you're all here. That's great. Now what? Yeah, now we hit stop. So I'm going to show you what this looks like before I clean it up. Pretty messy. But it'll wipe right up here. I'll show you. Everybody calm down. Can you sit down and just chill out? Everybody just needs to chill out. That means you. Yeah, you're here to help, aren't you? Okay, you've got to go over here, buddy. There you go. Stay there. Leonard's an old cat. He gets kind of grumpy around the little guys sometimes. But by and large, they get along really well. Gonna prove me a liar here. Lots of noise and batting around, but really nobody ever gets hurt. So that's cleaning up really well. It's just regular water. Water and paper towels will take most of it off. Guys, seriously. My productivity would go up about 20%. If I didn't have these little guys poking around all the time, but they sure are entertaining sometimes. Okay. Just regular old water here so we don't hurt the finish. And then we'll clamp it down here. Where my block is still stuck to the bottom side. Get our piece of just our piece of scrap here on top. And then we're gonna just carefully ooze this in here. Line it up with our block inside. And we're gonna just apply a little pressure. What are you growling about? Make sure we're lined up with stuff so we don't wreck anything. Get her cleaned up. So there, I'll show you, get you guys an eye full of that. Make it cleaned up pretty nice. And we'll let her dry. We'll come back and I'll show you if we were successful or not.
Good morning, or whatever it is. Thought I'd give you a brief tour before we threw some strings on this thing and see how successful we are with that bridge re-gluing we did. First of all, let me give you a shot of how that bridge actually turned out. As you can see, the glue line's pretty much invisible. The sawdust in it does add a lot of color to it. I think it looks pretty good. This guitar is actually a little bit of a weird experiment on my part. My parents were on vacation in Florida. My dad brought me back some cypress because he knows I just like odd woods like that, at least odd here in Iowa. So I decided to use that and give it a shot. I know flamenco guitars, nylon string guitars do use a type of cypress. It's definitely not Florida bald cypress, but it is cypress nonetheless. So the top is redwood. The sides and back, let me give you a shot here, doesn't fall over, are the cypress. The center strip is walnut, as is the neck is walnut. Some of the bling on it, if you will, is curly maple. Binding is maple again. Tried something else that was a little unusual. the cypress has a lot of the same characteristics as spruce in bending modulus and things like that. Really a soft wood. So it's a very light, resonant guitar. So instead of using spruce bracing on the inside, I actually used walnut. And I'm actually really happy about how it sounds. I didn't use walnut bracing on the top. The top is still your standard spruce braces. But yeah, I just want to add a little bit of rigidity to that back, given that the characteristics of the cypress. That, and I wanted it to kind of differentiate itself a little bit. I didn't want it to sound muddy. And it's kind of an interesting combination. It definitely a darker sounding guitar, but it's probably one of my favorite sounding ones. So we are going to put some strings on this thing and see if the bridge holds. Well, seemed to work okay. No bad noises, no cracking, no sounds of destruction. Tuned up. Seems to be staying in tune okay. No deflection in the bridge, nothing pulling up, no rotation. So I think we're good to go. If this is your first time trying something like this, make sure you're doing it on something that, if it all goes horribly wrong, you're not terribly upset. So, I am certain that the audio on that is horrible, but you'll have to trust me that it's a very good sounding guitar, very resonant, very dark and full. Different, very different from a rosewood or mahogany style guitar. But don't be afraid to try stuff like this. Hey, the cats and I hope you enjoyed the video today. Feel free to comment down below, like, subscribe, the usual YouTube stuff. We'll see you later. Bye.